with a special day.
Saturday edition.
Nobody expected us
Hollywood
to be
Matrimony.
here. They thought we were dead here last week.
Well, because you were sick. And guess what? Now I'm sick. Thanks a lot, babe.
As you probably are aware, last week we did not tune in for an all-new episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live.
We're such
I
losers.
did Martial Arts Movie Monday.
Oh, that's good.
But we didn't do TV Tuesday either because
sick
I still wasn't
again.
feeling well. So we ended up just calling it a week, trying to
so
get better.
sorry.
So apologize in advance.
I'm
still
looking
got
at your camera. I look horrible. I'm
That's how
sorry.
you look every day.
Wow.
I'm still fighting a cough a little bit, and she's getting a little. She got a little
I've
congestion.
some stuff happening here.
So, but we're gonna get through this. But she's got plans for this tomorrow evening.
yes,
and
it's also Super Bowl.
It is Super
No
Bowl,
one's
so we
gonna watch
decided
us.
we just surprised all the people that don't watch and just jump on and do our show tonight, and then everybody be free tomorrow. And they don't have to. I know everybody was planning on recording and not watching the Super Bowl so they can watch our show
Right.
first. But we're nice people, so we didn't want to do that to everybody.
And that's okay because then on TV Tuesday we can talk about all the fun commercials that came on.
And trailers and all kinds of
And
stuff.
I'm excited about the halftime show. I'm excited about Los Tigres being announced. I'm just happy because that was one of the movies or documentaries we talked about previously on TV
that's
Tuesday.
true.
So we'll get into all that. We know you're excited. I'm excited. And here we go. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube and Facebook. Please follow us on our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram. Now,
Before we get too far into the show, don't forget on our YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can get some followers. More followers means more stuff for you. The more stuff for you, the more fun you can have, and the more reason you have to watch us.
And then also make sure when you go to the Facebook or any of the posts on Instagram or wherever, and you like it, actually open it and go click on the link to the website. Okay, just so it counts as a hit.
Like we love everybody.
And then you can close it. You
we
don't
love
have to
all
read
the
whole
likes
thing.
and everything, but the likes don't do us any good for the website or the YouTube channel if you don't actually go to the pages
Go
and
to the
watch
page
them
and open it
or
and
share
close
them or something. So help us, help you, help us.
Why is this not loading?
Oh no!
Please load film. I'm connected.
So anyway,
right?
so because of
No telling.
the disease in Blakey Manor, we have not got out much.
We haven't.
Pretty much just teaching my classes, working, trying to survive.
I do think I have workplace environmental allergies.
So here we go. but I'm also one of those people like when I get sick, I'll have a lingering cough for a long time, and I don't like being that guy at the movie. So if I have a bad cough, I won't go to the movie even if I feel good because I don't want to sit there coughing and bothering everybody. Yeah. I always, even when I'm not feeling bad, I always get 2 cups of water in case it kind of stuck in my throat to make some drinking something. So I try to have some etiquette at the theater. But just because we couldn't go to the movie doesn't mean we didn't see any movies.
Yeah.
We actually saw 2.
We did see some stuff.
We watched 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was supposed to be what we were going to talk about last week, so we're going to talk about it this week. So that's a little bit older, but too bad. One of them we just watched last night, and then I watched another one. They're all 3 Blu-ray releases. One of them comes out this coming week. One of them came out last week, and one came out the week before.
Okay.
So we're just leading up.
Let's see what happens.
So
this is the most bizarre.
all
thing
of
I'm
them,
experiencing.
ironically, are kind of in the same genre for the first time in a
Yeah,
while.
it's
They're all
bizarre.
kind of horror-esque. So we're going to talk about them in the order of release. How about that?
Well, and one was just strange. I'm like,
Well,
okay.
we're not gonna do an order of release. We'll talk about the one first together. Then I'll talk about mine.
Okay.
We'll talk about the other because that's going to constitute a little more discussion. I believe.
Yes. Okay. Go in your order. Go.
So the first one we're going to discuss today is the movie Countdown.
It's the final countdown.
Did you
Not that one. I did. I
just
kicked. Y'all guys see my cat slipper. I'm all bundled up. I am freezing.
Countdown
Sorry.
is another one of these PG-13 horror films, kind of in the vein of Final Destination and that kind of stuff. It's very much the vibe I got as Final Destination.
Yeah, me too.
So, with that being said, I'll watch any of that stuff. Excuse me.
Let me just say
But
one thing.
let's jump in and just see what you think about it. So, I don't know. Did you even want to see this at the theater when it came out?
I did want to see it. I was intrigued because I thought the same. I like, your basic slasher horror, people are dying movie. I love those. I love slasher movies
Right.
more than
like hauntings and
hauntings and possessions. Those get me, but these are fun. I love it. And so, you likened it to Final Destination.
Very much so.
You know what? Is no Final Destination.
No. Final
Poor thing.
Destination movies. I love that franchise. They're so much better. But it has potential.
It does, but I'm finding out. You know what? The PG-13 is limiting how good these movies
It is,
can be.
and here's the thing: I get why they do it because their core audience. They're not thinking about the old fans that are into the horror that can see rated R. What they're thinking about is the teeny boppers. They use cell phones and they play with the apps and can spread the word and be the fun things that movies that these are kind of movies we could have seen when we were kids.
I know, but it's so
But back
limiting.
then the rating system was a little bit different, so we might see a movie that was PG
and it was actually
a rated R movie now.
Exactly.
You know, like Lone Wolf McQuade.
Yeah, you can. I was gonna say you can see some Chuck Norris.
Yeah, those
movies.
a lot of those movies came out at PG, and now they're rated R in theory.
I think that's the only thing to me that limited here because you didn't get great kills out of it.
Yeah, the kills were kind of weak. All of them went right up to that point of being a great moment, and then it cuts away from it, or whatever.
But I liked the story. I liked the idea. You can download the app on your phone still.
Yeah. I know people that did after they saw it, and they were posting when they're going to die.
I know I'm going to be 95, so.
Why did you do the app, or you did
no? Because remember I was telling the story about my grandmother's.
Oh well.
My grandmother and all
her
sisters.
The way you act around this house, you ain't gonna make 95.
Oh, my grandmother. So they had multiple children, but there were 4 girls, and they each died in the order they were born. Well, by my grandmother, there were brothers and stuff, but there were 4 girls out of the whole group.
How many did they have in theirs?
And my grandma's, I'm assuming there was like 8, 9, maybe 9 or 10. Because
my grandmother, I think, was like 8.
Yeah, I think there were, but then later
I got 2, and that's too many.
Okay, so my grandmother's mom died, and he remarried. The dad remarried.
Oh, but see, these are different people. Like I think my grandmother all from the same person.
Oh, I don't know. There were 8 or 9. Anyway, so those 4 girls all died in the same order. They were born. They outlived their husbands. They all died at the age 95, which is so bizarre. My grandma, she died on her birthday, and they all had a heart issue.
Did she? I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. So, and then now my mom and my aunt both have weird heart issues. Don't know if you read that far into the post, but my mom has an extra heartbeat sometimes, and my aunt skips heartbeats sometimes.
And it's ironic because her mother has no heart.
I know. And then sometimes, every once in a while, I'll feel like a little heart flutter. So I'm like, great, thanks, Mom. Now this is something I'm.
But you're hypochondriac. You'll think you have every disease that comes up. Anyway, moving back to this movie.
I don't know how we got to that. Oh, how long you're going to live.
It does rely more on the jump scare type thing, which it works. And like I said, it's a fun.
It's fun. It's great.
It's an okay movie. It's just, I really wish they was. If you're going to make a horror film, I know for finances and money, PG-13 is the way to go. But I've seen PG-13 movies that push the envelope and get right there to the edge of R. Because you don't have to have a gory kill for it to work.
No, you can have a blood splatter.
You don't even need to have blood. If you do something creative and whatever. And there was times in here where they tried to, but then they would always pull back to make sure they stayed within that rating. And who knows? Maybe there's a director's cut version, unrated.
What is random, but I'm rewatching the Scream series right now. I don't know why that, and I want to rewatch.
I don't think we ever finished the 2nd season.
No, I'm sorry, the movies, the sets of movies.
Oh, when did you start watching them?
I watched one last week, and I'm like, what is the rating on that? Because there was blood. Are they? Yeah. See, that's why it's different.
What's Craven?
They need to be R people. Make some rated R horror movies, please. It's fine. It's an okay movie. It's a good popcorn flick.
It's one of those that's worth checking out. I think it did fairly well. I don't know, but if they make a second one, hopefully they'll push that envelope a little bit more. And I think what's doing really good is there's so many rated R movies that are starting to make a lot of money, and it's giving people that confidence. Like especially like in the comic book, like the new Harley Quinn movie is rated R.
Well, that
and it's confident because of movies like Deadpool and Joker. They're getting the audience.
That animated series, that is not.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
about the movie, but I'm talking about the animated.
But yeah, it's a rated R-rated series.
I'm like, did she just say that? I didn't realize.
They're getting more confident in, hey, there's an audience.
There is an audience.
Because reality, if you really want to look at it, the people buying comics and stuff are the people with jobs.
They're older people.
Kids buy them, but they're buying them with their parents' money.
Yeah.
Typically. And it's the older people that really are going to be the ones that really, really spend the money.
Yeah.
So if you give them something that's for them, they'll watch it. And then something like Deadpool, there's vulgarity and there's some dirtiness to it. But older kids can technically watch it depending on how bad of a parent you are.
Well, no.
This guy.
I don't think so. I think it's okay.
I know. I'm just saying. Some people are a little more strict on certain things. I'm not as strict on language. Mine was more about the sex. And that was mostly outside of the nudity and stuff. It was more my own uncomfortable level.
Well, and then we also like the kids didn't really like a lot of blood and gore when they were younger.
My daughter does.
Yeah,
she did.
Her son wouldn't, and I would make spaghetti when I knew we were going to watch something gross.
My daughter's one of her favorite franchises is also my favorite franchise. It's a Saw franchise, which we're both super excited.
Yeah.
Monday, there's supposed to be some big announcement about the new Saw movie.
I want to know where it's.
Well, you still haven't seen the last one.
No.
So I'm so excited. It gives us a reason to do a binge watch.
And I want to watch them kind of in the order they're happening, I know one or two are happening at the same time.
No, that's the worst way. That is the one franchise that's better because as you watch it, you suddenly realize, holy crap, this is the same time.
This has been happening the whole time.
Yeah, I know. You don't do it. Anyway, so Countdown's available now on Blu-ray and DVD. Check it out. Decide for yourself. Like I said, it's okay. It's another PG-13 slasher-ish, more Final Destination than slasher. But anyway, it's kind of the same idea. So check it out if you want to.
It's pretty good, yeah.
If you don't want to, don't.
Just eat some popcorn and enjoy.
But speaking of a movie that does not pull any punches, is going to be the movie I talk about first.
Okay.
It's Lars von Trier. Hopefully I say that right. His new film, The House That Jack Built, starring Matt Dillon.
Not the sheriff.
Not the sheriff from Gunsmoke. Matt Dillon, the actor.
I don't know why I automatically go there.
It's also got Uma Thurman in a small role. This movie's jacked up. So essentially what it's about, if you don't know who Lars von Trier is, the director that's always embroiled in some kind of controversy. He made the Nymphomaniac Part 1 and 2 film that had Shia LaBeouf and all this stuff. There's some real life sex in it, like actual penetration, things like this. He made the movie Antichrist, I believe is the one that's Willem Dafoe. He's made some really weird movies, and they're artsy weird, but they're sometimes brilliant, sometimes offensive. There's always a level of controversy surrounding everything he does. And this one is probably going to be one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, you're telling me.
There were people at like some of the film festivals that walked out of it. They got a lot of negative reviews.
That's crazy.
But I understand why. It is a hard movie to get through.
Is it?
The premise of the movie is this guy that Matt Dillon plays. He's not playing a sheriff this time. No, but he plays this failed architect and who's a serial killer. And unlike something like Dexter or something like this, where they kind of glorify it and try to make you be sympathetic to the serial killer because they can't help it. Yeah. This dude's an ass. Oh, okay. Like, this is not a person you like. There's no redeeming, nice, good quality about him. And it's not that he's just an overall mean attack person, but he's malicious. And the movie's told in like, I want to say it's like 4 or 5 stories. Mm-hmm. And it's broken down like first incident, second incident. And so when it starts off, it's kind of darkly funny, if you will. It's quirky and weird. And then all of a sudden, he has his first kill in the film. And then things just get started. And the whole film, he's narrating it. He's telling his stories to another voice. So you're hearing him talk. Like, you don't see him talking to him. You just hear two people.
That already makes me think he's crazy.
Well, no. What I mean is you're hearing a conversation between two people.
I got you.
And as it goes on, it starts sounding like a confessional. But you don't know, was he arrested? Was he confessing to a priest? Initially, who he's talking to.
Yeah.
And he's telling the story of each incident. And he has like this building with this built-in freezer. So he kills people or whatever. He takes them there. And each incident gets steadily more horrific, if you will. Like the first one is a pretty straightforward bludgeoning kind of thing. Then he gets into some that's like probably the most disturbing that's going to be for some people. What I think is there's a hunting situation involving him taking a mother and 2 boys out. And where most movies pull away of violence to children, this one not only shows the violence to the children, and they're little kids. They're not teenage big kids. They're smaller kids. And not only does it show the violence, it also shows some of the mutilation of their corpses.
People don't like
some weird stuff of like positioning to be like
disturbing.
Yeah, and
people don't like
feeding dead people.
I get it.
And it's I'm one of those people that,
Was it tough to watch?
For me, no. But I nothing bothers me. Yeah. Like, I don't have nightmares about stuff. I have nightmares about life. I don't have nightmares about movies and stuff. And I don't know if it's because I can separate myself from it, or we've had this discussion on the show before where I get why when a child dies or is murdered or whatever in a movie, they don't show it. I get it why.
Yeah.
But I also think sometimes you need to see it to get the impact of what's happening. And a lot of times you can do that by showing the aftermath,
right,
or the blood splatter, or the little baby shoe, or something, you know, like they did Pet Cemetery kind of stuff. This one, I think seeing it is unnerving because you think it's going to cut away and then all of a sudden blood and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it also slaps you in the face, reminding you this is not a good person.
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for this guy. Don't start listening to his words. See what he's doing. And you're seeing how he's so delusional of what he's doing that he thinks he's creating art.
Yeah, that's what I was reading on.
Where he's creating pain and suffering. And there's even one later, and there's a couple, there's one sequence where it's one of the only relationships he really has, which ends up being a very abusive relationship because he can't connect, you know, and then turns into dismembering of a breast, you know, and police not listening. And I'll have to tell you, since I know you probably won't watch the movie, I'll tell you off the air because it's a very disturbing but scene that made me giggle because it was so out there. I'm like, who would have even thought to do that?
Yeah.
You know, where it goes really weird outside of the first part of it, or the majority of it, I really, really enjoyed. It is a beautiful shot film in a really brutal, horrific way. Matt Dillon is amazing.
I was going to ask, how is he?
He's very, very good. Any idea of that heartthrob mentality that he had, you know, when he was younger? Imagine him that show he was in, that M. Night Shyamalan show.
Yes.
What was it called?
I don't remember. But
anyway, so you know in that how he was kind of tortured and
yeah.
he's running. Imagine that with no emotion.
Oh my gosh.
And he's very like this in the movie. And like, lady, I have things to do, you know. And then when he does something, there's no feeling whether me and you having a conversation, him talking about somebody being his best friend,
Wayward Pines,
or he's in the middle of killing somebody. There's the same emotion nonstop.
Yeah.
But there is no redeeming quality. So it's a rough movie to get through. Where it goes weird is then there's a whole element at the end about it's a spoiler, but it's not. I'm going to tell you since there's so much you see, you'll probably forget. But there's a whole traveling to hell aspect. So it's like going through these tunnels, taken to where you think he's going to go, and is it in his head? Is it real? It's a very strange ending. But in the whole, the movie is. I really like the movie, but it's a movie that it won't work for most people.
Okay.
If you like any Lars von Trier's movies, you'll probably get it. You'll get the artsy nature of it. You'll enjoy it. If you've never seen one, this is not the one to start on.
Don't start here.
If you like movies that are things that get banned or things that have controversy or things you're not supposed to see, this is one of those movies. Like I Spit on Your Grave, or
that I liked.
What is that? Cannibal
the Musical.
Cannibal Holocaust. Those kind of movies that got banned, you're not supposed to watch, or killing real animals and things like this. It's horrific to watch. Even though you watch them now and they're like, why did they ban this? But you have to think about when it came out. Yeah. This is one of those movies. So if you decide to watch it at your own,
Is that Kim Basinger?
That is Uma Thurman.
It is.
If you decide to watch it at your own risk. Do not watch it with anybody else, because you might lose friends to watch it with.
Well, we've watched some questionable things with our friends.
That's right.
They're still
if you do want to check it out, though, and want to talk to somebody, let's see, the quote on the back says, one of the most thoughtful, honest, on-screen meditations of morality and personal culpability in quite some time, which is probably pretty accurate.
Is it?
And it's got the theatrical cut and the director's cut. I only watched the director's cut. It also says if you feel like screaming, you definitely should. So that's how messed up it is. And that's not just the characters in the movie, there's people watching it too. Anyway, this is going to come out this Tuesday.
Where does this man get these ideas?
He's Dutch. But it's that's all I got. Anyway, it comes out this Tuesday from Shout Factory.
Shout!
Under their Scream Factory brand.
Cool.
So check it out. If you'd like to borrow it, I'll let you borrow it, but I'm keeping this one.
All right, then.
Just because it's one of those that
I do like Matt Dillon though. He does good stuff.
I like Matt Dillon.
He's-
I love him in The Outsiders. It's one of my favorite
I
movies
know
ever.
it's one of your favorites.
But I like seeing them the thing like this. This cover reminded me a lot of Dexter.
Mm.
So I wasn't sure if that's what we were going into, and then it started changing. Like, goodness.
Yeah, because
this is-
Dexter comes from a different point of view.
Yeah, it kind of takes you in a different direction and makes you sympathetic because
Well, you
he doesn't
understand
want to be
why.
bad. This
Yeah.
guy is trying to create this weird art piece, and and the title is very accurate to where the story goes. The house that Jack built, because
Okay.
he's an architect, but there's a different meaning there.
Okay, cool.
So that's a weird enough movie, but we're going to talk about another weird movie that is raking up all the awards.
Yeah.
It's getting nominations all over the place. It was one of the most talked about movies when it came out. I was stoked to watch it. We missed it in the
We
theaters.
kept missing it. I don't know what's happening.
Neither one of us really knew much about it, other
No,
than
we didn't understand what was happening.
I like the director, which is what we're talking about, is the movie Parasite. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's rated fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
What is that? Bong Joon-ho. It's the
Joon-ho.
director. He directed Snowpiercer,
Mm.
that one on the train.
The one on the train, which is such a good movie.
Yeah, he directed that. He did I think it had Ozark. I think that's what it's called. It's on Netflix. And then what is the other one? There was another big one. The Host, I think it is.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan of a lot of his work. So I was just interested from there. And then just this cover was the first thing I ever saw. This image, and then the name. I'm like, this name and this image don't fit each other.
Oh, see.
And it makes you even wonder because you got people's faces are blacked out.
Yeah.
You got a body here. It's just there's a beast ball. There's so many things here that don't make sense, right? And it is very much in line with this movie.
It makes a lot of
So
sense.
you were on the fence with even wanting to watch this movie.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. I
Uh,
don't know what this is going to be because I'm thinking, did they eat something and parasites are infesting them? So
it very much makes you think like of a monster flick.
I thought it was going to be Bug,
Yeah.
but like an Asian version of Bug. And I'm like, oh, that movie still sticks with me. I'm like, I don't know if I want to see this.
I love a Bug. We should rewatch it.
I do. It's just a mental breakdown movie. Anyway,
So I know a lot of people, this movie was on their favorite film of the year list.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I might have to say that had I got to see this when it hit the theaters, it might have been up there.
It would have probably been one of my honorable mentions. For sure.
I can honestly tell you that when we finished watching it, I wasn't sure if I was going to get well, that was stupid from you.
No, I'm like,
or if you were all in.
that was crazy.
But before we talk about the movie stuff, it is a Korean film. It is subtitles. You got to read it. So although there's people
Don't be lazy. Read
some
it.
of those people that get mad about having to read a film, get over yourself.
I love foreign films.
And it's a
so
film
just
you
go-
have to pay attention to.
Yes.
Because there's little elements. It's not an overly complicated story, but there's twists, there's turns, there's little elements that if you miss, other things don't make as much sense.
Yes.
So coming out of this movie, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it. It's weird. I'm still trying to figure out, like, well, what?
It's a lot to just sit with.
It
as you
is. 'Cause
watching
there's a
it.
lot happening. And I like that in most Asian cinema, there are a lot of unspoken things. That's why I love Asian cinema.
I do
Anyway,
too.
it's one of my favorite types of foreign film because you do have to pay attention to the nuances and their traditions and their values and the way they look at people and talk to people and how they treat different classes of people.
Right.
And it's very interesting and so cool. Anyway, so then we get into this movie and this boy.
How do we describe what this movie's about? It's a little bit hard. It's about a poor family that gets involved with a rich family.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to tell you. Because it's outside of that, you
At
start
first-
spoiling things.
Yeah, at first I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because the first half is you're meeting the poor family, which are they the Kims or the Parks?
They're the kids.
The Kims. They're meeting the Kim family. They're all poor. They live in this basement housing area.
Yeah, I guess
in
it could
Korea.
be like the projects or something.
It is very much the projects, but it's kind of funny
Yeah.
watching them deal with stuff and how they're dealing with people that pee on the street. They can see it through their window,
Yes,
and there's a running gag that's actually pretty funny. There's kind of a dark comedy element to the movie,
Very much.
and then it takes a left turn.
Yeah, and so one thing happens with the son, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. But then it grows and it grows and it grows, and you're like, when is this going to end? I'm like, oh my gosh, they're really doing this.
Yeah, because there's a lot of elements in this movie that's just people having dialogue. It's nothing. This isn't an overly exciting movie until kind of the last
But it's
half.
intriguing at the same time.
Yeah, because you can't tell, like, there's three elements of family dealing with this in the movie. There's the rich family, there's the poor family, and there's another family caught in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's a very strange dynamic because it's really about all these people doing whatever they have to provide and survive for their family.
Yes.
That's really what the story is.
Yeah.
But they're all coming from different places without money, doing things you might not be happy about. People with money looking down on people because you don't have to. Other people in the middle that are just trying to get by, but they're being their life is being interfered by other people trying to get their thing. It's very life, but with some jacked up twists.
There are some jacked up things in this movie, y'all.
It's not really a horror film. It's more of a, what I say, like a thriller-ish.
Yeah, it's a drama.
Not even really a thriller either.
It's a drama, thriller.
But it's got some horrific tones to it, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole movie itself is crazy. And you know why? Because this could really happen.
It's very much so. Everything in this movie is realistic. And it's unnerving in some elements.
It is. And it's all bizarre. And then there's this one weird kind of sex scene, but not really.
That was a weird scene.
It was weird. I was like,
it's not even
okay.
It's not even nudity. Like,
no,
what's really
not
weird
at
is this
all.
is an R-rated film, and it can really be watched by anybody.
Yeah. I mean, there's some...
Because it's really only R-rated because of some of the violence.
There's some violence
there's some violence in the second half. But beyond that, it's really just watching. There's this one sex scene. It's a fully clothed sex scene. I think it kind of involves some role play.
Yeah.
In a very weird way.
It's very bizarre.
It was weird. It was happening. I was confused because I medicated, so I dozed off for about 5 seconds.
And I'm like,
but it happened to me in the part that they mentioned later, and I'm like, wait, what?
Like, what? I'm like, oh, didn't you hear that? That's why you got to pay a little bit of attention.
Yeah. But it is a most excellent movie, though.
It is. And
now I'm going to tell you something I don't think you know about this movie.
What?
So the movie itself is like it's mentioned, racking up awards. It's right. I think it's the favorite to win the Oscar.
Oh wow!
I think it's one of the only, the first to be nominated in like the Best Picture category, and not just Best Foreign Language Film.
Oh, you go!
I believe
guys.
that's what
awesome.
It is.
Good job.
But there apparently is a TV series in the works to delve deeper into some of the characters. And I think it's going to be an HBO series.
Awesome.
So I don't know.
We can go deep on that.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at on it. I just started hearing talk about it that it is happening.
Because all of the 3 of the different families are super interesting.
Yeah.
And it'd be so interesting to see how they ended up there. Like they kind of gloss over, oh, well, these people bought this house and they did this.
Yeah, there's bigger stories you could go with all of them.
Yeah. And a lot of it's kind of about a house. Some of it's about these.
The house is kind of a character on its own.
It is.
Yeah.
There's you just have to watch it.
It's one of the hardest reviews I've had to write in a long time because there's so many elements to talk about that you can't say anything about because it would spoil the movie.
Yeah, I think my favorite is this dad, the Kim,
poor dad.
The Kim.
He's funny because he's just like.
Yeah, but he knows what's happening.
He does.
But then at one point you see there's something that happened. That's why I think delving into his life would be interesting because he's like, it's not worth making any plans because plans never work out. Just do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this man is heartbroken.
That man he's given up on life.
He has given up. Yeah, so you just gotta watch.
And his hair is constantly messed up, and it was it bothered me so much. I kept going, look, his hair's messed up again.
I know. It's just you need to check it out. I can understand why it's nominated. It's a really good movie. I don't know if it would have made my top 10. It might have been.
I think it might have because it was one of those when we finished it, I'm like, originally when I turned it off, we finished watching, I was like, man, that was really good, but not as good as I expected it to be, the way everybody had been talking. And then the more I sat with it and it kind of started resonating, I realized that movie is amazing. That is really a well-crafted shot movie. And then one of the things that I think helps
yes. There was a
Asian
movie,
films.
There was a movie with Demi Moore called Parasite in the 80s. It was 1982.
Who asked me that?
Random comment.
Oh, this does not have Demi Moore.
Nothing to do with that.
It was interesting though because once it resonated with me and I started thinking about it, I'm like, this is such a well-crafted movie with the way the story plays out, the way it unfolds, the way things happen you never see coming. It's not, a lot of the movies you can kind of, oh, I knew they were going there.
No.
There's one element at the end you could kind of, you might guess it's going to happen.
That was going to happen.
But there's a whole other element that happens kind of midway through. And you're like, we both were like, wait, what?
Well, and that one thing that it's a reoccurring image or a thing. and it actually plays an important part throughout the movie. And it's like, that's random, but
and you see it, but don't pay attention to it until somebody tells you what it is. You're like, oh my God, it's part of everything.
It's the whole thing.
But the visuals to the way this house is designed,
the house
specific
is beautiful,
shots.
by the way.
Yeah, there's this basement sequence, and the basement part's not so important to what I'm talking about. It's like a wall full of shelving.
Yeah.
It has like wine bottles or whatever on
jars
it. And there's a door that goes to the basement, but there's no door. It's just an open staircase.
That freaks
But
me
it's
out.
pitch black.
Yeah.
No matter what lights are on, no matter what. So if anybody comes out of it, they come out of the shadows.
It's a pantry is what it is.
Yeah. But it goes that. It's just really cool
pantry.
looking, the way they shot it, the design, everything else.
Yeah. Anyways, check it out. It's a good movie. You still have time to watch it before the awards next week.
Yeah, it's nominated for Best Picture and I believe Best Director. I don't know if any of the cast are nominated or not, but they've been racking them up, taking them down.
Yeah.
And of all the stuff nominated, this is one of the first years in a while that I'm actually torn on which movie I want to win, and it might be a case of I wouldn't be happy with almost any of them.
What was nominated for Best Picture this year?
I believe this. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Sure Joker, I think is.
Yeah.
Joker's one of those I want to win, but it's because it's kind of like The Shape of Water.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
It takes the genre and says.
Why are there so many movies for Best Picture?
They did that a couple of years ago.
Okay, Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman. I like Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
Irishman, Jojo Rabbit.
Which I didn't get to see. That's directed by Taika Waititi, who did the Wilderman, the Curse of the Wilderman, or whatever it is, Wilder People. And he also did Thor Ragnarok.
Joker.
He directed some of the Mandalorian.
Little Women. People are going to be up in arms about Little Women either way, win or lose. Marriage Story, 1917. I like Marriage Story. I liked it, but it's a great movie. It's too real life for me.
I know you don't like that.
It didn't go anywhere for me.
It went in life, is what it did.
I know, and then this and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, are you okay with any of these winning?
Except for Little Women.
Yeah, me too.
That's the only one that I don't really. But I've seen all these except for Jojo Rabbit and Little Women. I don't care about Little Women, but
me either.
Yeah, but I'm leaning towards probably between this, Hollywood, 1917, and Joker are my top.
I'm feeling like 1917 just because cinematically it's amazing.
That's the other one that's racking up a lot of awards. So did you see the Onion article?
No.
This about 1917. It says. Cinematographer so caught up in success of film, he's still filming his single shot. Yeah. Even though the movie wasn't shot in a single shot, but it was made to look that way.
Or Ford versus Ferrari.
But the Joker thing, the only reason I really want that movie to win is because it's like The Shape of Water, where it gave a genre movie credibility.
Yeah.
And
because that movie is much more than just a comic book character.
Yeah.
It's about the mental health system. It's about how people get left behind. It's about his descent into a little bit cuckoo-ness, but it wasn't his fault. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much happening, and it made me sad. And
I still want to see Jojo Rabbit. I heard that movie is amazing. And it's got a brilliant cast.
I love Ford versus Ferrari. I don't know that it would win.
That was a great movie, too.
It.
They were all of the. This is the first year that all the ones nominated that I've seen, which are all of them except for two.
Yeah.
I agree that they're all worth it.
No, we don't care about Big Women.
I have seen Big Women.
Have you?
Yeah, it's a show on TBS.
Do you like Big Women?
That's how you get a pickup truck. So you put Big Women in the payload.
You're so funny.
Anyway,
all right, next.
Parasite's available now
on
Blu-ray and DVD.
A lot.
It's a great movie. Check it out. Prepare to read it. It's a little long. It's a little over 2 hours. But you will stay engaged the entire time. I already have somebody that wants to borrow it. So I told him, I said, well, you're going to be ready. You're going to have to read it. They're like, oh, is it Chinese or Japanese? I said, it's Korean.
It's Korean.
I'm like, okay, I'll pay attention. I'm gonna be interested to see how they do it.
Oh Lord, they're not.
You know who it is.
And is it a lady?
It is.
She's not gonna read it.
But she can deal with the time frame because she goes and watches those Indian movies.
That's true.
They're like 12 hours long.
They're like 4.
Anyway,
next.
That's pretty much it.
That was it?
That was it today.
Well, good job, everybody.
We're doing a short show because we didn't watch a lot.
Well, this weekend is Super Bowl Sunday. Next weekend is the Oscars. So make sure you print out your ballot. You have your favorites picked. We're going to do our contest again and see who picks the most
I can win again?
Correct. I think you did win, but not by much.
I win always because you're weak.
Whatever.
We'll
pick who we think I always like to pick who I want to win and who I think is going to win. Yeah. Because it's two completely different things. Because you know how this board or academy group of people, they vote for popular things. Anyways, that's all. That's all I
All right,
got.
so let me tell you about the contest we got going.
Yeah, what's going on?
So we got a few different contests happening. One, and I didn't bring them in here. I forgot them. We're giving away tickets.
Yes.
To go see the movie Just Mercy in theaters. They're Fandango tickets. Each one of them is good for 2 tickets, equaling up to a $30 value. So if you're interested in one, I'm just giving them away until supplies are out. So if you go, you look at it. I don't even think it's not really a contest so much as just email and say, hey, I want one. I don't remember if I put a question or anything. I don't think I did. But they're only good until February 17th, which is probably how long the movie will be in theaters.
Yeah.
So if you want one, you need to let me know now. And as people have been emailing me, I just give one every time they email. So it's not a case of entering and wait to win. If I get an email from you, I will send you the code for it right away, and you can win that. Also, we have a couple of other contests happening. One of them is not up yet. Oops, crap. One, we're giving away copies of Trauma Center. The all new, is it right? Yeah. Trauma Center starring Bruce Willis and Nikki Whelan, which a review will go up for that shortly. But we're giving away copies of that. We're also giving away copies of Terminator Dark Fate. The latest in the Terminator franchise, which I love this movie. Sadly, it didn't do as well as it should have, but it was great. But we're giving away 4K copies of it. 4K. Don't enter. Don't not enter because I don't have a 4K. It comes with a Blu-ray too and a digital copy.
There you go.
You can save it till you finally get that 4K setup that you've always wanted. From there, we're giving away digital copies of Frozen 2.
Nice. Okay, see it. I see
So
it.
hopefully this will be coming out. We'll be giving these out in the next week or so. And finally, this one's not up yet, but we're putting it up. It's a movie called White Snake. It is in fact not the story of the band White Snake.
Too bad.
It is an Asian anime feature. It's about some of their legends, Chinese folklore, that kind of thing. And it's about a girl who's a snake.
A snake
She turns into a snake. Well, there's a snake catchers. There's a girl who's part of the snake people.
Ah,
so this is a lady.
It's really pretty. The art in the back is really
It's actually pretty good. I'll watch it. I haven't posted a review yet, but we're gonna be giving away copies of this too. So this contest will go up probably before the weekend's over. So you get one of those. That's it. That's all we got right now. But there are a couple of other contests fixing to pop up.
Cool. All right, coming out of the theater. It's already February, you guys. So we are into some new movies.
We're in too deep.
We are February 7th this weekend. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I'm not that excited about it. It looks annoying to me, but I'm not a huge fan of what's her name. I
love Margot Robbie, but I don't like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling it.
The movie has started to sell me a little bit more in the last few trailers. There's Ewan McGregor.
But it looks cheese to me. I don't know.
He's playing Black Mask.
It looks cheese. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna have to watch it.
The guy that plays in the Mindy Project, her man.
Yes.
He's playing Zaz in it.
It's possible. There's a Netflix movie coming out called Horse Girl, about a horse.
Who's a girl? I
don't know. And then we just saw the commercial for this, a Disney Plus film called Timmy Failure, Mistakes Were Made. About
a young boy who is a detective and his friend who is a polar bear. And that is accurate.
Yeah.
And he's on the case of his missing the Failure Mobile, I believe that's what it's called.
Don't know. So those are really
based on a book series.
That's really all that's coming out. Everything else is limited release, so we don't know yet when it's going to be.
Excuse me. And of course, there's a lot of other stuff we haven't got to watch yet.
So we'll go back and do the best we can.
This week coming out on the Blu-ray and the DVD. There's a few different items, obviously. Some of them we talked about today, such as so we have The House that Jack Built coming out that we talked about today, and we've got Trauma Center coming out this week that we talked about today, and White Snake coming out that we talked about today, and you got Dr. Sleep.
Oh, good.
Director's cut edition.
I enjoyed that film.
It's like a 3-hour cut of the film on here.
Oh wow!
It's coming out this week.
I don't know if I can handle all that.
Playing with Fire, we'll talk about next week. Which is a family film with John Cena and John Leguizamo and Keegan-Michael Key and my favorite. What's his name? I always forget his name, but he just makes me laugh that he's in this movie. Hold on. Did I put his name on here? Oh, I didn't put his name on here. Anyway,
I don't know.
Tyler Mane, I believe is his
I
name.
don't know what
He
you're
played
telling me.
Sabretooth in the original X-Men movies. He's one of the firemen. He's the big
the
old
big
crazy
guy.
fireman. I believe that's Tyler Mane.
Okay.
And then we also have Last Christmas coming out this week. The new Paul Feig movie. Waves is coming out this week, which was a great movie.
Go see Waves. It's so good.
Go see Waves.
I don't like many things. Okay.
The Nightingale, which is a movie I really wanted to watch.
I like.
That's that movie that was like that period piece with the Indians. It's supposed to be like hyper violent and hard to watch because there's rapes and stuff in it. I think.
Goodness, huh?
I don't know, but it's got a lot of buzz. Movie Rabid, which is a remake of the David Cronenberg movie, directed by the Soska sisters.
And it has what's her name?
Yes, Supergirl.
Yeah.
Laura
Vandervoot.
which is actually not a bad little movie. That's the one that's that movie that they got kicked off Twitter for because they shared images from the movie, and the images look so real that they kicked them off for violation of terms of Twitter or whatever crap. Anyway, so that'd be pretty much it for right now.
All right. Well, make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Thank you so much for watching us right now on Facebook and YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram and the Twitter. What do you got to say?
Oh, that's me.
It's your turn.
Well, don't forget to join me on Monday for an all-new episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays, where I have no idea what I'm talking about this week, but it might involve Jackie Chan. And then we'll be back for another episode of TV Tuesdays. Hopefully we'll be all well and healed and back on our normal path. And then right back here for all-new episode on Sunday for another episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live at our normal time, Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
There you go. Thank you so much for watching.
Don't forget, hit the subscribe button up here. Watch what's over here. And go watch the new trailer for Fast 9. It looks epic. I can't wait.
So excited.
There's so many what moments.
Bye, everybody.
Peace and love. Be nice to one each other, whatever it is. And hubba baloo.